First of all, thank you very much for helping to record and doing all these background work in order to allow us to have all these available. And I want to welcome everyone back. Happy to see everyone here. And for the recording, today is the 21st of May, 2026. And we are doing ACI 6, Chapter 9 today. Whoa, can't believe that. What a milestone. Almost 5 months, huh? Yeah. And okay, let's just jump in. Okay, so get ready. Relax. Okay, close your eyes. And bring attention to your breath until you hear from me again. Now, think about your life. What are the major problems that you're facing? How wonderful it would be if we could be free from all this. And know that what we learn in this class, ACI 6, is putting a crack into how we are perpetuating our suffering. And that is bringing us closer and closer to liberation, closer and closer to the state of perfection, ultimate happiness. For ourselves and for others, to become this being that know what others have to give up and what they need to take up in order to be able to help them in an ultimate way. And it's so precious, this gift that we receive. And we are so grateful. There's no payment for the class. There's no value that we can put to that. It's invaluable. And so we think of the perfect world that we can help to create. The offering of the mandala. The perfect world that we will help to create by putting into practice what we learned. And so we will do the offering of the mandala, followed by taking refuge. Here is the great earth, filled with the smell of the incense and covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain, four lands, wearing a jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of the Buddha, and I offer it to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniyatayami. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the highest community through the merit that I do in giving the rest. May I reach Buddhahood for the sake of all beings. Go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the highest community through the merit that we do in giving and the rest. May we reach Buddhahood for the sake of all beings. Go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the highest community through the merit that we do in giving and the rest. May we reach Buddhahood for the sake of all beings. And may it be so. And to bring back attention to the class when you're ready. Today we are on chapter 9, emptiness and the perfection of wisdom. And we also cover the higher middle way school, the two sides of the cliff, and the four great facts. Okay, so we're on chapter 9, emptiness and the perfection of wisdom, and how they prevent the two extremes. So there are two parts. So I'm going into the first one, emptiness and the perfection of wisdom. And we start with the sutra, the Diamond Cutter Sutra. Can somebody read this for me?
I can read, teacher. Okay. The junior monk Subhuti spoke the following words with great respect to the conqueror. O conqueror, what is the name of this particular kind of Dharma? How are we to consider it? And the conqueror bespoke the following to the junior monk Subhuti. O Subhuti, this particular kind of Dharma is known as the perfection of wisdom, and that is how you should consider it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. I really love your voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
I used to speak like you, but ever since I was in the kindergarten child enrichment center for more than a decade, I have to speak like a kid. So that is how I turn out to speak in this way. Okay. So, okay, we start with the sutra. Very simple. Okay. So Subhuti asks Lord Buddha, what should we call this teaching? What should we call this teaching? So Lord Buddha say, we can call it perfection of wisdom. I was thinking, I thought I'm studying Diamond Cutter Sutra, right? So the first thing that come to my mind, I cannot connect the dots initially. And so it seems that originally it was not called Diamond Cutter Sutra. If you can see from here, right? Originally it's called Perfection of Wisdom. And later on it became a Diamond Cutter Sutra. And we also know from the first printed book, Diamond Cutter Sutra, back in 868, the first translated copy into the Chinese, the first printed book in the world. And it's called Diamond Cutter Sutra. I don't know since when they become Diamond Cutter Sutra. So originally, so apparently it is not Diamond Cutter Sutra. It is called Perfection of Wisdom. Okay, so very easy. So Subhuti asked, what should we call this teaching? Lord Buddha said, we can call it Perfection of Wisdom. And then Lord Buddha go on and says, okay, can somebody read this? Only this one.
I can read. Why is this so? Because, O Subhuti, that same perfection of wisdom spoken by the one thus gone is a perfection of wisdom that doesn't even exist. And this is why we call it the perfection of wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you see the trend, the pattern, right? See, it's the same. You have trained yourself. After a while, then you find that it's not that difficult. Otherwise, you really, I want to faint. I don't know why. They keep on saying the same thing. And I finally understand they're really putting a crack into our way of how we are. Our mind is grasping to self-existence. You notice that, not putting a crack to how we are perpetuating our own suffering. Okay, if you look at the wheel of life, right, the center of that. Okay, so just to recap, just now we say, Subhuti asked, what should we call this teaching? Lord Buddha said, we can call it perfection of wisdom. And then Lord Buddha go on and say, why is it so? Say, because it doesn't even exist. That's why we can call it perfection of wisdom. It's always the same pattern, right? We call it perfection of wisdom. Why? Because they don't exist. Don't exist. Did you notice I put the line very long here? I like to add the word at the back, ultimately. Remember, I said that helps me to understand. Okay? We can call it perfection of wisdom because they don't exist ultimately. It means that they don't have an ultimate existence. They don't have a true existence from themselves, in itself, from their own side. Okay? So once you get a hang of it, then you'll find, it's quite easy. Okay, that's not that difficult. Why we call it perfection of wisdom? Because they don't exist ultimately, and therefore we can call it perfection of wisdom. And therefore, nominally speaking, as usual, one is ultimately, one is nominally speaking, means come from my projection, right? Coming from me, and therefore I can call it perfection of wisdom. So as everything else in our world. So as everything else in our world. Everybody that we meet, every situation that we met, every circumstances, every experience. Okay, so I recap. I always do recap one. Yeah. Okay, so Subhuti asked, what should we call the teaching? Lord Buddha say, we can call it perfection of wisdom. Why? Because they don't exist ultimately. And therefore, nominally speaking, we can call it perfection of wisdom. Okay, let's discuss a little bit on this one. If the perfection of wisdom, they exist from the own side, in itself, by itself, okay, if the perfection of wisdom exists in an ultimate sense, means that they have some essence of their own, then anybody who heard it, they will they will know this is perfection of wisdom, isn't it? They will get it, isn't it? Right. But that is not the case. Maybe somebody will find it, wow, it's so boring. Oh my God, it keep on repeating, doesn't exist, then exists, this thing, so boring. Or may find it, oh, it's so absurd, it's so weird. Maybe somebody find, oh, it's so interesting. Maybe somebody find, wow, it's so profound, and then they become an arhat, or immediately they become enlightened. We had a lot of story in those days. Lord Buddha during that time, the era, those people, they heard the teaching and then they just become an arhat. So there is no perfection of wisdom in itself and by itself, in it, from it. There's no teaching on the perfection of wisdom in it, from it. Right? It is empty. And that's why and that's how they can become a perfection of wisdom teaching for us, coming from our virtue, coming from our good virtue, coming from our seeds ripening, right? They can become a perfection of wisdom for us. Coming from our goodness, from our virtue, from our projection, it become a perfection of wisdom teaching for us. Okay, let's apply in real life. I like to think about it. How can I apply this? So we know in school, we all go to school, right? And in a class, we all have the same teacher, the same teaching. And there are students who get A, excellent. And there are students who fail the subject, right? Okay. So the words, there's no self-existent teaching, no self-existent words. And I find it very useful, sometimes, in the past, I get angry when I say something that people don't understand me. I said, so obvious, isn't it? I already made it clear. I'm holding on to my words as though they have self-existent meaning, right? That's why I get angry, I get upset, you see. Then as I learn more and more, I realize that the words itself, they're empty. Correct, they're empty. And then that's why we have misunderstanding. Then I get upset, why they don't understand. I get pissed off, things like, why you still don't understand? I thought I already make it very clear. Okay. So the words itself, they don't have a self-existent meaning like I thought when I grew up. Oh, this is the meaning, this is the word, this is how, when I write like that, it's already very clear. Apparently, it's not. Okay, so I learned to become more, I would say, patient or kind. Yeah, because of the wisdom that we have. And so you have a more harmonious relationship with the people around you. Okay. Yeah, more harmonious relationship with the people around you. And always think about how can I better communicate, even though I already make it very clear, how can I say in a different way? How can I help the person to understand? Okay, so it's just very interesting. For me, that is my real app. Real app means how I can apply in my life. Real apps. Okay, we want to go in detail to understand what does the perfection of wisdom mean. What does that mean? We learned in earlier class, if I'm not mistaken, chapter 5, we learned the 6 perfections. We understand the word perfection, paramita, right? Paramita, perfection means what? Gone to the other side. Gone to the other side of the ocean of cyclic life. Gone to the other side of samsara. Perfection. You've gone to the state of perfection. So perfection of wisdom, or we call it prajna paramita in Sanskrit. And in Tibetan, Shrab Ki Paro Tu Chimpa. I don't know every word, I just remember Shrab is the wisdom. Okay, let's look at the definition. The knowledge of a person of the greater way, Tachen, they call it Mahayana, with which they perceive emptiness, which is imbued with the wish for enlightenment. Oh, I want to pengsan, I want to faint when I look at that. Okay, I need to study for a long time, only to understand. Very easy. Okay, I tell you, perfection of wisdom is from the word wisdom, you know, it's wisdom, right? It's the wisdom imbued with bodhicitta. We all know, right? Isn't it? We say we all have this mind that's imbued with the state of mind that I want to become Buddha for the sake of all beings. I want to reach total enlightenment for the sake of all beings. Right now, we say it's the love, is part of us, it's imbued, okay? It's not something you have to think, it's imbued part of you, okay? So you have this wisdom imbued with this bodhicitta, right? And with which you perceive emptiness. You perceive the emptiness of the three sphere. You perceive emptiness. Did they say you have to perceive it directly? No, they never say that. And therefore, understanding emptiness intellectually, like what we are doing in path 2, okay, is enough that we can call that we are practicing the perfection of wisdom. Okay, it is a perfectionizer for us. It is a perfectionizer for us, bringing us to the state of perfection. Remember early on we learned about the perfectionizer. We say the perfection of wisdom is actually a perfectionizer. They make us perfect. As we do it, they make us perfect. Like what we are doing in the class right now, they bring us to the state of perfection. They are perfectionizer. Why? Because we are not a Buddha. Only we say only a Buddha can really do it perfectly, right? So long we have this intellectual understanding of emptiness, that is good enough. Okay, we have this compassion, we help people, and then we have this intellectual understanding of emptiness, and we can call that a practice of perfection of wisdom. Okay, it is a perfectionizer for us. Okay, I go and find. Kershi Michael says, okay, the definition is very long. Kershi Michael is always very good in making things easy, simple. So he said you can say it is a perception of emptiness under the influence of desire to help all sentient beings. Again, perception of emptiness under the influence of desire to help all sentient beings. What is this under the influence of the desire to help all sentient beings? Is the wish lah, correct? Is the wish, is the love, right? Is the love, bodhicitta, the love, the wish. What wish? The wish to become enlightened. Why? For the sake of all beings, because you love them. And that is the greatest love that you can give. So if I look at it this way, there are 2 elements here. 1, emptiness. 2, bodhicitta. Easy, isn't it? Come back to the 2 wings of the bird. You learn like this and you find it easy, okay? So there's 2 things. Okay, method and wisdom. It's the wisdom that is imbued with method and wisdom. It's the wisdom that you have which is imbued with the love. Okay, you have this state of mind imbued with this love, this bodhicitta, okay, with this wish, and you perceive emptiness. Yeah. So again, if you have some kind of intellectual understanding of emptiness and the wish to help other people, then you are practicing the perfection of wisdom. Okay, just to refresh your memory on the sixth perfection, right? How they kind of like, there's a mutual support, upward spiral. Perfectionizer, they help to bring us to the state of perfection. Okay, the perfection of wisdom, they are also called the perfection of wisdom in 300 verses, and they are also called the mother. Can somebody tell me why is it called the mother? Anybody know why is it called the mother? Perfection of wisdom is also called the mother. Mother give birth. Oh, yes.
It produced the Bodhisattva.
Very good. They even not only Bodhisattva, they give birth to Buddha. That's where the Buddha come from. Good. Okay. Like mother give birth. Okay. Mother give birth to the Buddha. Perfection of wisdom. That's where the Buddha come from. They give birth to Buddhas. So when we study this, we can also reach this state of perfection. Anybody want to read this?
Okay, let me read. Oh, Subhuti, what do you think? Is there any Dharma at all which the one does not ever speak? And Subhuti respectfully replied, O conqueror, none of the Dharmas ever spoken by the one does not even exist. Thank you.
Thank you. So we can see here is the same, okay, same theme again. Catch. I hope you're able to catch the ball, okay? It's the same thing. Ask you, is there any Dharma, any other Dharma spoken by the Buddha? Okay, and Subhuti, he's very smart, nah? He say, no, none. No Dharmas ever spoken by the Buddha ever exists. There's no Dharma that ever exists in an ultimate way. Correct or not? There's no Dharma, no such Dharma exists. What kind of Dharma? No such Dharma that exists ultimately. No such Dharma exists in an ultimate sense. Again, must add the word so that easier for you to understand. There's no ultimate Dharma that exists in itself, by itself, from itself. You know, if it is, then everybody who heard it will know that, oh, this is a Dharma, right? Oh, everybody, yeah, they get the Dharma. Okay? But it is not, right? Maybe somebody heard it, lousy, okay, nothing, right? And it is empty. And so nominally speaking, we can say that therefore there is Dharma that come from where? That come from my projection, that come out of my virtue, that come from my good deeds. That you hear it, you understand it. Wow, okay, I got it. Okay, this is how it is. I understand it. There is no Dharma that exists ultimately in an ultimate sense. They are empty, and therefore, nominally speaking, we can say there is Dharma, right? can say there is Dharma, the Dharma that come from me, that come out of my projection, out of my virtue. Okay, good. Everybody good? Yeah. Okay, so we are going to learn that there are 4 types of perfection of wisdom. Okay. So the first one is called the natural perfection of wisdom, or it is also called a natural nirvana. It refers to ultimate reality or emptiness. As we know, emptiness is a negative. Emerald asked before, what do you mean by negative? Negative means the absence. It is an absence of something. It is a lack, L-A-C-K, a lack of something. As we know, emptiness is an unchanging thing, therefore it's an uncaused thing. And I do this summary for you. Okay, so natural nirvana, we say is another word for emptiness, another word for ultimate reality. So is it a nirvana? So what are we learning? We say we have 4 types of perfection of wisdom, isn't it? The first one is called natural perfection of wisdom, which is emptiness. Okay. Another name will be natural nirvana. I don't know why they got so many terms here. Natural mother, natural perfection of wisdom, natural dharma body, ultimate truth. Okay. So is that a nirvana or not? What do you think? Is that nirvana? Yes or no? You want to type Y or N? You want to type Y or N? Thank you, Rache, for being very courageous. Rejoice. I learned to accept mistakes, and I used to be very afraid because very kiasu, right? So always want to make sure I know the answer only I answer. Yeah, now I accept what it is, just accept that, and you're happier. And actually, that is also a mental affliction, I know. There's a gotcha of how I'm holding on to the kind of self. Laura and Daniel is very smart, shortcut. If you answer like that, everything sure correct one. Everything coming from our seats. You don't know, everything come from my seats. That is a general answer, okay? Okay, anyhow, so we say that there are 4 types of perfection of wisdom. 4 types, okay? 4 types. So the first type is called natural perfection of wisdom. And then they have many names, just like us, right? Like, even though, let's say, for example, your name is Daniel, you may not just be called Daniel, maybe Danny, cutie, my dear, my love, got many names. So same thing for this one. The natural perfection of wisdom, they also got many names. Among them is natural nirvana. So I try to trick you. I did mention natural nirvana is also emptiness, isn't it? And then I asked you, is natural nirvana nirvana? Okay, you fall into the trap. You say, yeah, natural nirvana is nirvana. Okay. I already say it's emptiness, right? Okay, that's why I say it's just a name, okay? It's just a name. Natural nirvana is not a nirvana. So we fall back to the definition of nirvana. What is the definition of nirvana? Permanent stopping or cessation of all our mental affliction, obstacles in their entirety due to seeing emptiness directly. So obviously, It is not. Okay. So if you hear it, then we know. If not, I say that, natural nirvana. Yes, it is nirvana. Okay. But anyway, it's a good attempt. I need to give you $10 if I have. If you're next to me, then I'll give you a treat. Because I really admire your quality of you're not afraid of speaking out. Yeah. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, so I do a summary for you. This is not a, how should say, a very dry. I don't know why I want to study this. Okay, but I try to study and summarize for you. So if you can see here, number one, natural perfection of wisdom. Okay, can you see the top perfection of wisdom? The first one is natural perfection of wisdom. Okay, which means emptiness, which also means ultimate reality, which also means absence of self nature, right? And we know emptiness is a negative thing, negative in the sense of absence, the lack of something. And we know emptiness is unchanging, uncreated, unproduced, and they are neither physical nor mental. I would think that understanding of emptiness, I think we learn in ACI too, if I'm not mistaken, all existing things, then changing, unchanging, right? Then changing the physical and mental, neither physical, mental. That one we study in very great detail. I think it's very, very useful. Yeah. You may not see why it's useful, but it is the foundation. Okay, so the next one would be textual perfection of wisdom. From the word text, it's a books, right? Text. Any verbal or written teaching on Mahayana path and its result. This is positive, changing. It is cause. It's a cause thing. Okay. Okay, so I do a summary for you in this way. Okay, so perfection of wisdom number 2 will be textual perfection of wisdom, which is the books, the teaching on emptiness. Okay, and I also do this for you. So number 2, textual perfection of wisdom. They are the books, the teaching, and they are positive thing. Obviously, they're positive. A book is a positive thing, right? And it is a cause thing. Obviously, it is a cause thing. We know it is. If it is a cause thing, of course, we know it's a created thing, it's a produced thing, it's a things that is can be destroyed, and it is can be physical or verbal. So my question now is the textual perfection of wisdom, are they really perfection of wisdom? Are they the real perfection of wisdom? Yes or no? Good. Okay. So Raymond and Jenny and Jaslyn say, no, they are not. Why? Because we come back to the definition of the perfection of wisdom. The perfection of wisdom, the definition. Just now we say, what is that? It is the wisdom, right? The wisdom imbued with this love, this bodhicitta, right? Which perceive emptiness. So if you can how should I put it? So we know that it is not a physical thing. It is not a physical thing. Yeah. So we eliminate this textual perfection of wisdom. We eliminate that. Okay. So we go to this summary. Okay, I already do the summary for you. Okay, the next one. The path perfection of wisdom. The wisdom of a bodhisattva imbued with wisdom and method. The two wings of the bird. Is this a mental thing, positive, changing thing? Okay, created thing, things that can be perished every moment. Okay, wait, I do this one. Okay, so the path perfection of wisdom is in the mind of one who is yet a Buddha. Yeah. So it's a perception of wisdom with bodhicitta. Okay, I do this, go back to this table. The path perfection of wisdom. What is that? It is the realization, it is a state of mind, the realization. It is a wisdom, remember? The wisdom of the bodhisattva. It is a positive thing. It is a changing thing, it is a cause thing, produced, and it is a mental. Okay, the path. We know the path is a realization. The path can refer to practice, but here they refer to realization. Okay, something like you realize what? The area truth of suffering, right? Right? Or you meditate, then you realize that things of impermanence, that things are being destroyed by the second. And the last one would be the result perfection wisdom. This is the omniscience of a Buddha. It's mental, positive, changing thing which perish and is created each moment with the mind. Okay, so result perfection wisdom is in the mind of a Buddha. Okay, number 4 is a result perfection wisdom. In a way, the omniscient. From the word result, okay, we can think about, oh, already perfected. Okay, the omniscient. You have reached your final goal. So it's a positive thing, it's a changing thing, it's created, produced, it is a mental. I know it's a very dry topic here. I try to make it as easy as I can, okay? I studied a long time to put it in a proper table because it's like, oh my God, okay? So now my question to you, which one? Which one is the actual perfection of wisdom? 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to type in the chat? 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one is the actual perfection of wisdom? You want to take a guess? Which one is the perfection, actual perfection of wisdom? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay. Okay, at least you either answer 3 or 4. Good. Okay, either 3 or 4. So which one? Which one is the champion? Which one is the correct one? Okay, so the actual perfection of wisdom, Laura and Daniel got it correct, is number 3, is the one that can bring you to perfection. However, the answer key says 4, which is not correct, or you can say it's correct if you're restricting the meaning of perfection in the sense of perfected. If you restrict the meaning, okay, if you restrict the meaning of perfection in the sense of perfected, then you can say it's 4. Sometimes very confusing. I need to read a lot and go and read, find here, find there at different point in time. Gashila, anyhow, Gashila did mention if I did take a snapshot here. Okay. Okay, make it bigger here. 3. Okay, path. This is the perfection of wisdom, which is the path, the perfection of wisdom. This is the real one, okay, according to Kashila. And he did also say that the homework answer key is, in his own word, he said goofy. Okay. So if you want to restrict the meaning, you can say 4 lah, perfected. Okay, but 3 will be the one that is going to bring us to perfection. Is the real one, is the actual one that bring us to the state of perfection. Okay, so that will be in your homework question 1. I won't read it. This will be in your homework question 1 about the 4 types of a perfection of wisdom and which one is the actual thing. Okay, what is the first one? I already do the summary for you here. Natural perfection of wisdom, which means emptiness, okay? Or ultimate reality, the absence of a self-nature, or another word, natural nirvana. But is there nirvana? No. Number 2, the text, the books, the textual perfection of wisdom. Are they perfection of wisdom? We say no. Why? From beginning of the class, we say, okay, there's no text or teaching that we can say this is the teaching on perfection of wisdom that exists ultimately in itself and by itself. Because we say that everyone who listen to it, somebody may say, so boring. Somebody, just get a wow, and they become an arhat. So they're empty. Yeah, it's not that there's a perfection wisdom that they can listen to the teaching and say, wow, I got a perfection wisdom. No, there's no such perfection of wisdom teaching that exists in that way, ultimately. And so we can say there's perfection of wisdom that exists from our projection out of our good virtue. And the third one is the path, which is a realization. Okay, this is the one that can bring us to the state of perfection. And then the result is for the Buddha. Okay, they already reached the state of perfection. Okay, we'll take 1 minute break before we go into something very, very interesting. Okay. Now we are into the very, very important topic. Very, very important. Okay. Madhyamika. Madhyamika. Madhya means middle. Mika means way, middle way. We heard of the middle way, right? The highest school. Madhyamika, middle way. So you can see from the picture. Middle way here means that the middle way path. The middle way path between the 2 extremes that you can see on the left and the right. Okay, this is a middle way path between the 2 extremes, or we can call it between the 2 cliffs. So we want to walk on the middle way path. We want to walk on the middle way path. We don't want to fall into the cliff. Okay, if we are not walking on the middle way, if we fall into the extreme, means we fall down, isn't it? Fall down. We fall off, we fall off the cliff. So what is the 2 extreme? The first extreme we call yutta. Okay, yutta means that the extreme view, the extreme view where we hold on to things to exist in the way they appear to us. Okay, let me put here. Yeah, this here. Okay, the first one, the first extreme view is things exist in the way they appear. Things exist in the way they appear. Things exist in the way they look to me. Things exist in the way it seems, the way they look like, the way they appear. Things exist in the way I think of. I think that Zain, he is there self-existently. He has some nature on his own, right? Yeah. So things exist in the way they appear to me, the way he appear. Oh, he's a very helpful, very kind person. Okay. Or, oh, he's such a terrible person. He appear in the way he appear to me, in the way things appear to me. So that is the first extreme view. Okay, and the next, the other side will be the metta. The second extreme will be, if things don't exist the way we think, if things don't exist the way they appear, then they don't exist at all. So you fall into the other extreme. The first one, you hold on to things to exist in itself and by itself. Okay, the second one, things don't exist. Okay, so we are going to go into detail one by one. We are going to look at the example. Okay. The first one, the first extreme. Things exist in the way they appear. Do things exist in the way they appear? We say no. Now we know already, we are very smart. We say no. The way you ask the question, I know that. No? Correct. No? I know they don't appear in the way, they don't exist in the way they appear. I know that. Okay, by now we say we know. Okay, I know. Why we know? Because throughout the whole Diamond Cutter Sutra, from the day one until now, we keep on ripping off the way we believe that things have ultimate existence, right? Which is the first extreme. We keep on ripping off. Every week we rip off our view of how we think that things exist truly. Things have their own ultimate existence. We rip that off. What is that? The gacha, isn't it? We are ripping off the gacha. Okay, we are going to look at the example. Okay. I like to look at this example. Let's use the same example that Kashila used. The screaming boss, okay? The boss that is yelling at you in the office, or you can say a husband yelling at you in the kitchen, okay? Whatever the circumstances, which is not somebody doing something that you are not happy about and you're feeling uncomfortable. Okay, let's all watch this movie, yeah, okay? We all hold on to the same example and then you can apply it. As we understand, you can apply in the rest of our own personal example. Yeah, how we are holding on to things to appear, things exist in the way they appear to me, isn't it? So I see this boss now yelling at me, and I of course feel very uncomfortable. Okay. And I'm holding on to the belief that this boss is bad. He's a nasty boss from his own side. That is the extreme view one, okay? The first extreme. And now it's making me feel I have this discomfort. I'm not happy inside, I got tension coming out already. Yeah, boiling inside. And that tension, that uncomfortable feeling, I believe, of course, is coming from the boss yelling at me. So I'm not happy and I'm upset, right? And that is also extreme number one. Can you see that or not? And because I don't like it, okay, and I'm holding on to extreme number one, so I would react negatively by either I yell back, okay, if you dare to yell back at your boss, you don't dare, isn't it? But you do something face lah, you talk bad about your boss lah. During the lunch hour, then you go and talk to other colleague, okay? You blast your boss lah, correct lah? Or you sabotage lah. You can look at any other way of how you're reacting. If you're looking at a relationship, maybe you run away lah. Okay, maybe you cry lah. Okay. Or maybe you resign lah. Because you believe in the extreme one. Okay, we are holding on to the view that there's a self-existent discomfort from his own side. Okay, so we are into the story already. Yeah. Okay, by now, okay, I want to ask question already. Ta-da. Okay, that is the extreme number one. I'll give you a very good example, right? The example very, very from his side. Type yes or no in the chat. Is the boss yelling at me nasty from his own side? Yeah, is the boss yelling at me nasty from his own side? We say no. But do we believe that? Okay. Okay. Right. We say no, intellectually no, but that is not what we believe. Okay. Intellectually we say yeah, okay. Yeah, he's not nasty. Yeah, the pen, okay. But do we believe? No, we don't believe that, right? Next one, is the nasty okay. Is the nasty boss yelling at me, causing the discomfort now through truth? Is the nasty boss yelling at me, causing the discomfort now through truth? No, it's not true. The shortcut will be, we know it's coming from our seeds ripening, from our projection, right? It's not a true truth. But do we believe that? That's the thing. Okay. Then we say, oh, intellectually, oh, I understand. Okay. Oh, I plant the seed. Okay, now the seed now ripen like that. Okay, understand. Yeah, it's not true. Yeah. But do we believe? Yeah. Okay. Next one, question 3. Is it not happening at all? It's not happening at all. It's just your projection. Remember, I said it's just your projection. Come on, it's just your projection. It's coming from you. It's not happening at all. Is it true? Yes or no? Okay, this one we all know, is it? No, we know it's not happening. We from the word at all, we know, already at all. Okay, correct, not at all. If you think it's not happening at all, it's just your projection. You know, it's just your projection. Everything is in your mind. Then we fall into the second extreme. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Then we fall into the second extreme. Okay, some people they misunderstood, then they fall into the second extreme. Okay, next one. Question 4. Is it happening now? Am I experiencing it? Is it happening now? Okay, yes, it's happening. It's not that, oh, it's everything just your imagination, it's just your projection, you know. It's not happening. Everything is in your mind only. That's your projection. Yeah, it is experiencing. You are experiencing it. Yeah, it is happening. I'm not saying that there's nothing, you know, you're just imagining it. I'm not saying that. Okay, we are not saying that. Is it happening the way I think? Wait, okay. Okay. Okay, some already answer no, no, no. Okay. Is it happening the way I think? The way I think would be the boss is yelling at me, okay, from his own side. He has some true existence. Yeah, he's nasty from he has some true existence from his own side. He's making me uncomfortable from his own side. Okay, we all say, no, it's not happening the way I think. Okay, but do we believe that? When it's happening, we don't believe that. Yes, there's something very nasty about this person, okay? When it's happening, we don't believe it. Yeah. We think that there's something in it, from it. If not, then why am I getting angry? I'm okay. What? Just now I was okay. I was with friend. I'm so happy, isn't it? Because of him, lah. Okay. Because there's some condition us. We'll talk about that later on. Okay. And the last questions, question 6. Let me take this. Does the yelling boss that is causing my discomfort exist? These are very tricky. Yeah. Laura and Daniel very smart, you see. Actually, you put yes or no, you're also correct, depending on how you phrase it. Depending on how you phrase it, there's no right and wrong. If you phrase it correctly, then you're okay. Yeah. Yeah, I see also, okay? So you can answer no or yes, okay? If you say no, does the yelling boss that is causing my discomfort exist? We say no. In the diamond cutter stroke, we also say no, no, no. He doesn't exist ultimately, okay? But nominally speaking, he does exist as our projection. Okay. Again, I said he doesn't exist. He doesn't have any ultimate existence. He's empty. And therefore, he can exist as my projection, right? As my seeds ripening for me to experiencing this. Wow, Zain want to put something very challenging here, okay? Break it into 2 parts. Okay, let's look at it in detail again. I said just now, I said, well, okay, there's this boss now yelling at me. Okay, is there a nasty yelling boss? Okay, first thing I want to look at it is the boss yelling at me. Boss yelling at me. Okay, the boss yelling at me. The boss yelling at me also cannot exist ultimately, right? Okay. Why the boss yelling at me? We say, oh, because you yell at my kids. I say, oh, you plant the seeds and now you see someone, your husband yell at you, right? So the boss yelling at me. Second thing, the nasty yelling boss. We say so nasty. So is he a nasty yelling boss from his side? No, he's not nasty from his own side because maybe his wife think that he's a very loving husband. The mom think that he's a very filial son. Okay, maybe the other employees think that, oh, the boss is so kind, he's trying to teach him. He has to finally have to be strict with this person. So he's not nasty from himself, from it. But then in my mind, I still want to argue. But can't you see the way he speaks is harsh? Isn't that nasty? Then what can it be? Okay, in my mind, you still want to argue, isn't it? Right? So I don't believe it. Okay, I understand. Okay, intellectually, we say, yeah, intellectually understand. But there's this but, okay? But you can see the way he act, the way he yell at me, the way he can talk nicely, can tell me, but he's yelling. Obviously that is nasty. Maybe not every day, but today is definitely nasty. Okay? Today is definitely nasty. But then we want to come back to our foundation. Why am I seeing the parts that I'm seeing? Why am I seeing the parts that I'm seeing that label him as nasty? Why do I see the parts that I see? Go back to our ACI 5, we say that the three parts of remember the glass, the base with the three parts, okay? Your karma force you to see the parts that you see. So why am I seeing the parts? Like my mind is arguing, isn't it? I say, oh yeah, but yeah, no, he's not a nasty house all the time, but he's definitely nasty this time. Okay, he is nasty. Okay, I still want to hold on to him having some nature coming from him. But then why am I seeing the parts? Yeah, I'm seeing the parts that I see that I have to label him as nasty. Obviously, it has to come from my projection, from something I've done in the past. Therefore, they have no ultimate existence. Okay, and then the next one will be the discomfort feeling. Is the discomfort feeling coming from the boss yelling at me? No, they don't exist in an ultimate sense. And I noticed lately, I find that because I have certain condition, because of the condition that I have, then because my condition that make me feel discomfort, the condition, we always say cause and condition, right? I have this condition, this bakchak, this sits in me, yeah, that ripen as this discomfort. So there is no self-existent discomfort that is coming from the boss yelling at me. Okay, so that is all. I give a few examples, all the way of how their own ultimate existence, to have some nature from their own side, which is the extreme number one. Okay, we fall into the extreme. Like it, I want to yell back, run away, cry, sabotage. I will have this mental affliction, right? And that's what you have, this mental affliction because of how you misunderstand your world, how I misperceive my world. And then my reaction will be the one that perpetuate my suffering, how I collect the karma that perpetuate my suffering. Okay. Yeah, correct. Raymond said the correspondent experience result. Saying, yeah, the condition fulfilled for the past seed I had planted, the result ripened. Yes, exactly. And so let's go back to this one. Okay, so Madhyamika is the middle way between the two extremes. Just now we covered the first extreme of Yuta. Okay. The first extreme when I think that the things exist the way they appear. Things have to exist the way they appear. Just now we give the example of the yelling boss. Do you have a yutta? Yutta today? Do you have a yutta? Do you have the first extreme? I give you 1 minute to think about that. If you can think of one, you can type in the chat. Yes, okay, you can, yes, okay. You don't have to share. If you want to share, most welcome. How do I know that I have yutta? One easy way would be I will feel upset. You have mental affliction. Okay. You get upset, you want to blame somebody, then obviously I have fall into the extreme, the first extreme. I fall off the cliff. I want you to think about the situation where you fall off the cliff for the first one. Thanks for sharing that, Daniel. I don't know, that one is Daniel or Laura. Okay, someone tell Laura something not nice and automatically said something bad to him. Yes, exactly. We get upset, we blame the person because we believe that they have to exist in the way they appear to me. Okay. Yeah, I should say. Yeah, for 2 minutes then I remember the person who irritated me come from my seats. Yay, okay. So rejoice that 2 minutes very fast we catch ourselves back. Yeah. And with more and more practice, we'll be able to do it on the spot. Yeah. And eventually not seeing that way. Yeah, there'll come a day if those who have gone, they always say one that's gone to have gone that way. There are so many beings who have gone that way. Obviously, if they can do it, we also can do it, isn't it? Okay, good. So let's look at the second extreme. Okay, so now if I ask you, oh, is the yelling boss, is he bad from his own side? We say, no, I don't believe that. Okay, now I understand that they don't have an ultimate existence. Okay, and when we fall into the extreme two is when we think that since they don't exist the way I think, they don't exist at all. That is a second extreme. Like we tell them, it's just your projection. It's your projection. Then they would think that, oh, okay, it's just my projection. It's just my projection. It's not real. Okay. Or you tell them, oh, it's empty. They said, yeah, they're empty. They're empty. They're just an illusion. They don't exist. I can do what I want. Nothing matters. Have you ever fall into this extreme. No, I have a friend, I mentioned before, right? I didn't see him for more than 30 years, and I met him back. He actually fall into this extreme, in the sense that things are empty. Yeah, they are just an illusion. They don't really exist. And so, he have this attitude like, I don't care, like everything I don't care. Like you have a license to live your life according to your emotion as you feel, how you like. If I want to do it like that, I just do it, I just don't care. Like very inconsiderate, lack of consideration. So because you fall into this extreme, I see with my own eyes. But of course, now he's coming back to the middle way. Yeah. And we can only fall into this extreme when we have a poor understanding of emptiness. We are not getting a proper teaching on emptiness, or we are not having a proper teaching or understanding of emptiness. Okay. And we are very lucky because I think the Pan story is the one where if you teach someone emptiness, you follow the Pan story, you won't go wrong. You're very safe. Yeah, you don't have to worry that you may mislead them or teach them wrongly. The Pan story is the one that teaching emptiness, and it is a very good explanation of emptiness. So in short, so the second metta, the extreme view number 2, is a result of poor teaching on emptiness, that things are empty, they don't exist, just an illusion, I can do what I want, nothing matters. How to refute that? How to refute the belief that nothing matters, things don't exist at all? We can say that, yes, it's my projection. Because it's your projection, that's why it's real. Yeah. Don't say the projection is not real. And when it's empty, when we say empty, it's not that there's nothing at all. Okay. Empty is not nothing at all. Empty means what? We always say, I like to remember the whole phrase. Empty of not coming from my projection. And because it's empty, and therefore it can be what it is. So 99% of people, Kshila say, will fall under the first one, the first extreme, then 1% on the other one. So most of us will fall under the yutta, the first extreme. And if we fall into the extreme, fall off the cliff, then J. Tsongkhapa say that you have wasted your life. You have wasted your life, not only this life, many, many, many lifetimes to come, many lives again and again. Yeah, and you will suffer. You have wasted your life. Why? Why say that you will suffer? Why I will suffer? Anybody? What do you think? Yes, exactly. Laura and Dennis said, because you will do bad things. Yeah. So when we fall off the cliff, like just now, when we hold to things to have an ultimate existence, they have some true existence, they exist truly from their own side, then we will start to have mental affliction, right? And we want to do something bad. And so we collect the karma that will see us perpetuate our suffering, our cycle of suffering. Okay, so this is in question 2. Okay, middle way philosophy runs a middle path through 2 different extremes. Explain the literal meaning of the word extreme here. So J. Tsongkhapa, in his illumination of the true thought, quote Master Kamala Shila's Light of the Middle Way and describe the extreme as being like an abyss that one falls into from atop a cliff. It means you fall off the cliff. So anyone who fall off the cliff, you wasted your life. Okay, you wasted your life, not only this lifetime, many lifetime to come. Okay, and you will suffer in this cyclic life. You will suffer because you keep on collecting negative karma. Okay, you keep on having mental affliction and keep on collecting bad karma, keep on having mental affliction, keep on collecting negative karma, and see yourself in this cycle of suffering, perpetuating your cycle of suffering. This is in question 2. Okay, so question 3 will be, they ask you, there are 2 sets of extreme. Just now we just mentioned the yutta and the metta. Describe what it means to grasp to the extreme of existence and non-existence. The first one is what? The extreme of thinking that things have to exist in the way they appear. Okay, things exist in the way they appear to me. Things exist in the way they look. Things exist in the way I think of. The way I think of. I think of Rache coming from her side. She is like that. She's from Singapore. She's like that, doing this. Okay, the way I think. Okay, so you say, no. She's not coming from her side. She's coming from your projection. Huh? So she's coming from my projection? You mean she don't exist at all? So she don't exist? Okay, so you fall into the second extreme. Okay, since they don't exist the way I think, then she doesn't exist at all. Yeah, she's just my projection. She's just an illusion. Yeah. Okay, so A and B is question 3. So how can we prevent these 2 extremes? How can we prevent these 2 extremes? So J. Tsongkhapa, in his 3 principal path, okay, he says that, where is that? Okay, this one. Okay, so J. Tsongkhapa in the 3 principal path, he say, in addition, the appearance prevents the existence extreme. Emptiness, that of non-existence. I go and find for you. This is in verse 13. In addition, the appearance prevents the existence extreme, emptiness that of non-existent. And if you see how emptiness show in cause and effect, you'll never be stolen off by extreme views. To be very honest with you, it took me 10 years or more than that. I cannot understand this. Because as I prepare for this class, I finally understand it. Thanks. I understand the first part. The other half, I cannot get it, okay? Until when I prepare for the class, I said I cook until, my brain going to explode. I finally I get an insight into the second part, okay? I always got the first part. I cannot understand the second part, okay? So let me read to you. I think it's very important here. This one, since it's in the answer. Wait, this one. Understanding that no object has any true existence aside from appearing this way keeps one from the extreme of grasping to the extreme that things exist in an ultimate way. And yet, the mere appearance cannot exist on its own. And so, understanding emptiness prevents one from grasping to the extreme that things do not exist in a conventional way. Okay, so you can cook on that, but I want to explain to you in a simpler term. Okay, I hope I try my very best. Okay, so how to prevent the 2 extreme? First is understanding dependent origination. 2, understanding emptiness. Okay, very easy, just that. Understanding dependent origination, we say, and emptiness, there are 2 sides of the coin. I say it's the 2 sides of the coin. Okay, 2 sides of the coin. Okay, so first, let's go into detail. Understanding dependent origination. How can they help me? how can they prevent me from fall into extreme number one? Okay, again, understanding dependent origination, okay, will prevent me from falling into the first extreme. What is the first extreme? Things have to exist the way it appear. If not, then they, sorry, again, things exist in the way they appear. Things exist in the way they appear, right? Correct. Means that they have an ultimate existence. They have an ultimate existence. Understanding dependent origination can help me to avoid me from falling into the first cliff. How? You know, sometimes when I'm tension, I don't have enough time, then I simply answer. No, just kidding. Okay, that I feel very tension. That I skip, you know. I am looking at the time, I only got 5 minutes. Okay, I will quickly mention about that, but I'll come back to this one again next week. Okay, so understand dependent origination help me from not falling into the first extreme, because if things exist independent upon something else, then obviously they cannot have their ultimate existence. Does that help you to understand? Again, I say, if things exist, if they depend on something else, then obviously they cannot have an ultimate existence. Okay, so I give you this one for you to help you, and then we go into detail. I think next week I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush on that one. I think it's very important. Correct. Raymond said courses. So we talk about the three schools. We'll talk about the three schools, whether if they're independence upon the causes, or if they are independence upon the parts, or if they're independence upon me, my label, me thinking and naming them, regardless of that, so long if they are dependent on other things, obviously they cannot have an ultimate existence. Okay? Therefore, understanding dependent origination will prevent me from falling into the first cliff, the first extreme. Yeah, so I think I will want to stop here. I have a little bit more. I want to do it next week. All right, that's it. Okay, so let's do a dedication. So just close your eyes and be very, very happy with yourself that you are here. We are here on the class on perfection of wisdom, emptiness and perfection of wisdom. Such a great, great goodness. Those seeds that we collect, that's going to put a crack into how we are perpetuating our suffering, our cycle of suffering, our samsaric experience, our samsaric condition, and this samsaric life. And bringing us closer and closer to the state of perfection, to the state of ultimate happiness for ourselves and for others. And such a great, great goodness that we want to share this. We want to share this with all the sentient beings in the universe, wherever they are, in any realm, any part of the world, any part of the universe, in any form, anytime, anywhere. By the power of the goodness that we have just done, may all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the two ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom make. And may all beings be happy, peaceful, and liberated by virtue of what we have done today. Bring your mind back to the class here, to the space, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for the recording. We can stop now.